And we're back.
We're back.
51. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's something else here, man. So we're having, real quick, I just got to share this. We're having this frontal system move through. It's a cold front.
And where are you on that map? Point to the people. Where are you at?
Do you see Gainesville?
Yes.
I'm just north of that. So this is moving southeast.
Mm-hmm.
And the good news is it's fast. This will be through quick.
Yeah.
The bad news is it's like monsoon and high winds right now. So.
And there must be a bit of a PTSD thing because you've had fucking pieces of you've had damage before. So even though they're saying, oh, it's not a big storm, it's not bad. Just the fact that it's windy and blowing around outside, it's like you're kind of like thinking about that day, like fuck.
The wife thinks I'm crazy because I've been.
Well, she's right. You absolutely are crazy.
I've been fixating on this. They knew about this a week ago. They're like, we're on Sunday. The front's moving through. We're gonna have high winds. We're gonna have rain.
Right.
And she's like, why are you obsessed with the weather now? Like, and she's right, because I never used to be like this.
But now you're living in a trailer and you had a chicken coop blow into your car. So yeah, I'm thinking about the weather too.
So I think the experience that I had with Helene kind of fucked me in the head a bit.
Yeah, it did.
You know. And I think that's why once I'm in the house, it won't be as bad because at that point I'm gonna have a generator.
You're a big solid building that's protecting you,
Standby generator. Yeah. Oh, at that point, I got nothing to worry about. I'll have to make sure the animals are okay, but that's it. Anyway.
Well, let's hope that storm gives us no delay with our very important podcast number 51 today.
Yes, the show must go on. So,
of course.
Let's get right into it. So you teased me with a Facebook Marketplace story, and I love it when you scurry out into your Toyota Yaris and pick it up like Fred Flintstone and run down the street and enroll and meet a guy at
gas station
at Chick-fil-A or at a gas station, and then you stand in the parking lot while he brings out his used goods, and then you inspect them thoroughly.
Right. I just re-listened to the episode where I buy the shoes. I often will go back and recheck our work, Dan, the podcast, because, we care about. By the way, I just texted you 2 photos that will have to do with this.
Oh, no.
And I know it's a little late, but I just texted you 2 photos that have to do with this. But basically,
no.
Yeah, dude, this is great.
Dude, you're too young for this. I'm not.
No. This is what I want to talk about. This is so great.
All right.
So, but yeah, I re-listened to the podcast about me going out to Facebook Marketplace and buying used shoes. And that was really funny because Dan was just mortified by this behavior, So I'm like mixing it up again. And
let me just fill the audience in. So I'm showing a picture of a recumbent bike that looks like it's seen better days.
Oh, yeah.
And it originally listed at $1.25. It's now at 75. And Bruce has inquired as to the recumbent.
Right. I love it when Dan says...
You would look ridiculous on that thing.
So, okay, let me tell you about what's going on with my head with this. So, as you know, I'm approaching 60 years old, and I'm still a young man and all that. That's great. When I was a much younger person, I would do, like when I was living in San Francisco, I rode a mountain bike everywhere. I was kind of a bike guy. In fact, my whole graffiti persona, my logo that I made is a bike. I was known in the graffiti world for always riding a bike, and the bike was my logo and blah, blah, blah. And I would ride miles a day on my bike. I was all about it. The bicycle was a very big part of my life.
Yeah, if this was a BMX, I wouldn't say anything. But
here's the thing.
Yeah.
So when you get older, I still have a mountain bike. I haven't ridden it for exactly 1 decade, not even once, right? Because I got this mountain bike, and what happened is you get an enlarged prostate, right?
Oh.
And the enlarged prostate, if you sit on a bike, that is putting, like, you know what it's like to sit on a bike, the bike seat. Yeah. It puts pressure right on the taint, Dan. You know where the taint is, don't you?
Of course. Yes, of course.
So when you're sitting on a bike, you're pressing it up on the taint. You're even leaning forward.
So you want the exercise from the biking but you don't want the damage to your tank.
Right, but here's the thing. I know that crosses a Rubicon into old mandom when you enter the world of recumbent bikes. There's because I've always made fun of people that ride on these fucking.
Bruce, I hate to do this to you. My father is a very serious cyclist, very serious.
Right.
And he drives out into these places with trails, and he rides like a road bike,
a regular looking bike.
He's 80. He's 80, and he refuses to ride a recumbent
bike. But get this. My doctor told me 10 years ago, he says, quote, this is a quote, "You have the prostate of an 80-year-old man." Is what he told me that. And that was when I got the finger in the ass, the good one, you know? He stuck his finger in my ass and he felt around and he goes, "Ooh, wow. You got the prostate of an 80-year-old man." I'm like,
so it's pushing up against your bladder, huh?
Yeah. And so, like, as of recently, I wake up to pee. I shit you not, probably every 2 hours I wake up to pee.
Right.
So it's a lot. And so, like, I'm like, I really miss riding the bike. I really miss the exercise. But I know you're getting up on like the hole in the seat. You know,
yes,
this thing's fucked up. Yeah. So I've been looking at recumbent bikes. That's an old T-shirt, by the way, that's covering that thing. So so Dan, I've been looking at these recumbent bikes, and recumbent bikes are normally very expensive. They're normally like really, really, really expensive, like $900 to like $2,000.
Okay.
And I've been looking at them, but still in my head, I'm like, if you go to the recumbent bike, you're an old guy, and there's no coming back from that. So for a long time, I'm thinking in my head, dude, that's why I haven't ridden a bike for 10 years. Have I wanted to ride a bike? The weather out here is gorgeous. I would love to ride a bike. I live in a flat area. I would love to ride a bike. I would love it. But I won't, because I don't want to ride on the regular bike because it hurts my prostate. And yet I don't want to ride a recumbent bike because then I'm a fucking old guy. This has been going on for 10 years, Dan.
So how about like a big wagon, like a big wheel?
No, it's essentially a big wheel. Yeah. Because look at the size of that seat. So anyway, I'm scrolling through Facebook Marketplace. Up this thing comes, and Facebook knows I'm looking at recumbent bikes because they show me them once in a while. I like looking at them.
I like how the guy's got a lock on it, because someone's definitely going to steal this.
Oh, this is the funniest thing. So you're gonna love this story. So the recumbent bike, and if you look at I sent you another picture. That's the recumbent bike is one of these styles of recumbent bike. It looks like a chopper, right? It's really long. It's got the wheel up in front. It's got the handlebars like this, because you know how some recumbent bikes have got like your handlebars are down by your seat and your feet stick out and they look fucked up. This one at least kind of in my fucked up head, I'm thinking, well, this looks cool. It looks like a Harley Davidson chopper, you know?
Yeah, it looks just like a Harley.
Right.
I almost mistook it for a Harley.
Because you're like, look at the little wheel sticking out in front. Look at the fucking handlebars. I'm like, part of me is thinking.
I especially like the tennis ball kickstand.
So it's got and the basket, the old lady basket behind the seat to put your groceries in, right?
Of course.
So this is great. So I'm looking at this, and the wheel in the front is real small, and I'm like, wow. So, but also, Dan, here's the deal. It's $75, right? Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's wild. Like, so the conversation is as follows. I talked to the guy. I'm like, hey, man, does this thing work? For $75, I doubt that it works. He's like, no, it works. And if you look at this photo, he's got other bicycles and stuff. Turns out this guy lives in one of these 55 plus communities, right? That are like blocks big. It's just packed with boomers that live in this community, so they can be around other white boomers and away from brown people.
So wait, back up.
Right.
I think they mostly want to be away from kids.
Yeah, that's true, but there are also kids that show up
the wife and I have pondered later in life doing one of those places because there's no kids. Like,
well, no, they come to visit grandma. There's kids there. Where do you think grandma lives? They're gonna go visit grandma.
No kids live there. Like, I don't know.
They're okay.
And I hate to break it to you, you're over 55 and you're not a boomer.
No, so this is what their story. Listen, I address all this, right?
Okay. All
right. So the bike, I knew you would love this when it was going on. So I'm like, okay. It said 125 and then it said 75. I'm like, if this is a working recumbent bike for $75 that looks like this, I'm pulling the trigger. And I show this to Ro, and immediately she's like, you're not going to ride this thing. It'll be another thing that you buy that sits around in the yard and just collects dust. Yeah, she goes, I know you. You're not going to I know you. She's like, you're not going to
trying to buzzkill your whole thing here.
Yeah, but in the meantime, I'm like, look, I'm struggling with like an existential crisis, Dan, because it's like, I was a biker. I'm getting old. I've got the prostate. I'm in this fucking, I got to cross the Rubicon. Am I going to fucking buy this thing and continue to be a bicyclist? If it be yes, recumbent, and Dan's 80-year-old father rides a regular bike like normal people, but I got health issues, right? So I'm like, okay.
All right.
So let's go see this thing. I call the guy. I'm like, does this work? He's like, yeah, it works. I'm retired. Come on down to the Sunlight community. It's a 55 community. Come on down.
You roll to Geezerville.
Dude, I go right into this place and it is just wild. Just driving into this place is wild. You got to go through a gate where like some guy looks at you and you're like, what are you here for? And he gives you the up and down. I'm like, I'm here to buy a bicycle from spot number 1755. Place is so big that it's got streets, 3rd Street all the way to 20th Street. This is in Arizona. This place is blocks and blocks. This is huge, right? And it's small streets. Most people are riding around golf carts. A lot of people are riding around these things. I roll up to this guy and he tells me it works. And I tell him in the conversation before I get there, I'm like, look, full disclosure, I don't know if I want to buy this. I've never ridden on one of these in my life. That's true. I've never in my life been on one of these things. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I like the look of that seat. It's going to be really nice. Then I can tell. Plus, when I go to the gym and I get on one of the machines, they look just like this. It's a big fucking fat seat that doesn't press up against your taint, and your feet are out front and your knees are moving like this. I'm like, okay.
Right.
The guy swears up and down. He's like, this works. He goes, I'm a mechanic. Basically, what I do to keep myself busy in this community is I fix up old bikes and I lend them out to people that want to ride them around. That's his whole thing. And he goes, that's why I'm selling it for $75. It's not for the money. I need something to do. I'm like, holy shit, right?
Right.
So I go there and I meet the guy. And what's the thing that's going to like irritate me the minute I roll up and look at this guy? Just tell me what you think, and you're probably
okay. Right. His KKK hood.
It's close. He's got on a hat with the Gadsden flag on it and a big American eagle. You know.
No, yeah.
And he's a white. Of course, everyone in there is white. There's absolutely no one besides white people in there.
I bet there's some black people.
No, absolutely not. I would put money on the fact there's probably not one black person in there. No way.
There's no way. This place is huge.
There's no way. It's got a big sign, no blacks allowed when you roll in. So anyway, I'm kidding. But anyway, I see the guy rolls out. He's a nice enough guy. He gives me a look, and I'm like, okay, I pass, right? I'm a white guy. He's like, all right. And he's like, are you Bruce? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, I'm Dan. His name was Dan, ironically enough. And he goes, well, here's the bike. And he shows me it. And he says, like, you've never ridden one before? I'm like, no. He goes, it's a little hard to steer that thing in the front. It's got a small wheel in the front. You'll find it a little difficult at first, but you get the hang of it. And I go, this works? He goes, yeah, why don't you just drive it around here for a little bit? I'm like, you want to keep my car keys in my car? And he's like, you're not going anywhere. I'm like, all right. So Dan, I ride this thing up and down the street, and yeah, it's a little bit difficult, whatever. But then I get back and I'm like, you know what, $75, I'm pulling the trigger. I hand the guy $75, and I don't even try to haggle with this guy. I really don't.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Because I've done this is a working recumbent bike that he could easily sell for $300,
Right.
And it works. It's got all these gears. It works. The seat is super comfortable, even though it's fucked up. I buy the bike. I bring it home. I get it out. Ro looks at me and she goes, you fucking bought that thing? I go, I did. I bought it. And she's like, oh my God. So yesterday I took it on its virgin, it was a gorgeous day out here. Dan, it was 80 degrees and sunny yesterday.
Love that.
Yeah, I love it. And I live in a big flat neighborhood. I'm like, I'm taking this thing out for a drive around the block. And Dan, I got to admit, I had a revelation. I was like, Bruce, you are approaching 60. You're turning 57, and I'm turning 57 in a couple months. And I have been grappling with the loss of youth and the crossing the Rubicon into old mandom. Right. And I guess this is very symptomatic. Look, a recumbent bike, old guys ride recumbent bikes. Straight up.
Yes.
And I found myself had like kind of a life moment, Dan, where I'm like riding, and maybe you can help me because you're my life coach. I'm your sponsor. You're my life coach. So I'm driving around on this thing in the streets, and it was a sunny day, and I got my fucking bucket hat on, and not only that, I had a little radio in the back of the basket playing like a fucking classic rock tunes,
Right.
And I'm like riding around. I'm like, Dan, this is wonderful. this is wonderful. And Rose saw me ride it away. She told me, she's like, could you go any slower on that thing? Like I had it set the gears to the pedaling where it was going so slow. So slow. And I did. I pedaled around for a couple miles. I came back and Rose said, how was it? I'm like, it was wonderful, Ro. It was gorgeous. Yes. So, you know, I felt like Pee Wee on a bike again. And I felt, Dan, I got to be honest, straight up, it felt good to be on a bike again. Now, yes, it's a recumbent bike. No, I'm not going over jumps like Pee Wee here. But I was just like, it's nice to be out in the sun. You know, I had my flip-flops on. Picture the scene. Dan, it's the flip-flops, it's the bucket hat, and just like the little radio. Doo, 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 and I'm going real slow. And I'm like, this is fantastic. There was a yard sale going on. I stopped. I put the kickstand down with the tennis ball on it. And I went to the yard sale. I'm like, what do we got here? And I'm like looking around. And I'm thinking, I could buy something if I want. I got a basket to put it in right here. This is wonderful. So that was my day. And that was the whole, and I gave the guy a 5-star rating, you know, and it was wonderful. $75 for a recumbent bike. And I plan to ride it again. I love it. And that's my recumbent bike story. What do you think?
I mean, look, I get it. I do, but I don't know that I could ride one of those things.
It is super embarrassing, right? Like you're on that thing and you realize like, dude, if some young kids drive past me right now on BMX bikes, I'm the thing they're making fun of. And rightly so. And rightly so. Because I used to make fun of motherfuckers that ride recumbent bikes so much. So much. And here I am, you know. So
and then there's my dad who's 80, who every single day goes out, rides, 10,
so maybe your dad has the prostate of a 60-year-old, you know, maybe. and his doctor's like, you're looking good, Mr. Richmond, and he says thank you, you know, and he gets on that bike.
I've never checked it, but yeah, you might be right.
I mean, he's probably in good shape, you know, shit.
No, he is in good shape. So,
but but look, I'm in good shape, but not down there. I'm not down there. And when you get on a regular bike that presses up against your prostate like that, and you're leaning forward and you're driving on that thing, dude, you come home and it is not good. It is not good.
All right. Well, look, I'm glad you like it. I mean, it's nice to, you know, I hope you keep riding it.
Right. And, it's good for my knee, right? It's good for the fucking
very good for your knee.
Good for the knee, and it's good for the everything. I'm out there, I'm getting a little light exercise. I'm like, okay, this is nice. And by the way, you know, sometimes there's like young ladies out riding around and stuff like that. I'm looking at them. It gets me out and about.
I'm sure that seeing you on a recumbent bike definitely.
Oh yeah, they're like, look at that guy. The bucket hat.
I gotta have that guy.
The bucket hat and the tear on the recumbent seat with the tennis ball on the kickstand is really doing it for me.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, we can switch to me. So,
yeah, tell me about your job search. Now, I got to tell the radio audience. I got to set it up. Dan had a brain aneurysm a couple months ago. It was a close call with death. We got to have Dan avoid stress. A job is the thing that gives Dan stress the most. So a job essentially caused Dan to almost die. And I told Dan, who really doesn't need to work anymore, stop with this you can just retire right now. You're loaded. His name is Dan Richmond because he's rich. So he doesn't need to fucking work.
That's not entirely
yes,
true.
It is.
It's not
so Dan is caught up in this sort of like, I got to work, I got to make money, hustle and grind. So I'm his sponsor, you know. So Dan is addicted to the drug of capitalism. Yeah. Dan loves to work and make money because that reinforces his self-worth.
Yes. I think that's true.
It is. Am I a true man if I'm not having money streaming in? Am I a man, a whole man?
Right.
I'm in your head, bro. I know this is what's going on.
Yeah.
And so, but it's not your fault. It's how you've been conditioned, right?
Yes, correct.
Self-worth, money.
Well, you and I had a chat. This was a month ago, maybe. And basically at that point I had said, I'm considering stepping away from my current, because when I got out of the hospital, I went back to the gig that I had, except I went back part-time.
Right.
And as I'm sitting home recuperating and having all these appointments, it occurs to me, you know what? It's probably better for me if I'm doing nothing right now. I think I'm going to heal better. I think, keep the stress down. So I stepped away from it, and basically with no plan. Like, am I going back?
I love that.
Am I going back to this gig when I get the green light? Or am I going to get a different one? I don't know. Who knows? Or am I going to start my own thing? I don't know. So my whole thing was, I don't know. I'm just gonna let this ride.
Just there doesn't need to be a fucking plan.
The big final check is February 27th. It's a week from this coming Thursday. It is possible that day that the neurosurgeon says you have healed to a significant degree, and it's fine for you to start doing some more things. I won't be completely healed, so he's not going to say you're good, go crazy, but I might be able to do light workouts. I might be able to do a little bit more than I'm doing now. And I certainly would be able to go back to like work because I work on computers. So I've been sort of just like soul searching, because here's the thing. The gig that I had paid very well. And there's a couple people there I really like, but in general, I didn't really dig it.
Yeah, the job caused you a lot of stress. I know that it did.
I think so. And so option one, the low-hanging fruit would be just to go back. It's easy money. It's good money. I generally like most of the people there. It's just the work itself. Don't really dig it. So that's option one.
There's stress, and that's not good.
That's option one. It's the low-hanging fruit. Option two would be, let's see what else is out there. And option three would be do my own thing, start my own business.
Love that.
So for shits and giggles, because nowadays it's not like it used to be, Bruce. If you want to look for jobs, you can go on to like LinkedIn and you can just press a button.
So, but Dan's going to talk about right now is how it is to look for a job. As all the millennials and everyone else knows, it's a nightmare out there. But it's even more of a nightmare for a dude in his 50s to be looking for a job because it is a hellscape out there, and Dan is dealing with it.
It is a hellscape. So prior to our chat, when I gave you my solemn promise, I was done with that. I had applied to a few gigs. Now let's just without me sounding like I'm bragging.
Very disappointing.
51. Ivy educated. I have a master's degree as well. I've been a coder in IT, web developer coder since 1996. So experience.
He's got experience. He's got talent. He's got this guy. He's no schlub. I mean,
so these gigs I'm applying for.
Yeah.
At worst, like you might say, there's a couple of things they want that I don't have, but in general, I'm good. But for most of them, I'm overqualified. Right?
Easily.
Let's just be honest. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be a dick. I am telling you, of the however many I went for, maybe 5, 6, 7, something like that. Not one interview. Not one. I get back the exact same form email each time, which is, we're focusing on people whose skills and experience align with our current.
That's a good business way to just sort of keep it super vague without telling you any reason why.
Well,
like it's
we
so
know
funny.
the reason. We know the reason.
Oh, we know. Me and you know the reason.
Okay. Well, number one, the main reason is we don't want to hire a 51-year-old.
No, it's an ageist thing. 100% ageist.
But
they don't want to hire a 50-year-old.
The secondary reason is you've been self-employed for so long. You probably have money in the bank. You have not been working for a person the last time I had a job, Bruce, like a real job, was 2006.
Yeah, they see that on your resume and they're like, this guy has not been beholden to anyone for a long time. And we want somebody beholden.
Young, cheap,
desperate.
Young, cheap, desperate. I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean, they could interview me and say, look, I'll be honest with you, I don't think we can afford you, but because the thing is, if I really like the gig, and I think it's something I would enjoy, I would take way less money. I don't care about money.
Yeah.
But you don't even get that far, right? You don't even get that far.
Just that sentence right there, I don't care about the money. They want someone who really cares about the money. They want someone so desperate that cares about the money that they will be able to have them jump through hoops because you need the money. You're a guy who doesn't care about the money. That tells them, like, we're not going to be able to control this guy with the threat of less money.
It's just very annoying because the form letter, I understand it has nothing to do with me. They send this out to every person who applies.
All this is going on LinkedIn, this website LinkedIn?
It's mostly LinkedIn, yeah. So you press a button, you send your resume. You can do a write-up on there and say, here's who I am, here's what I've been doing. And then, but like to not even get an interview.
Yeah.
And if it's this way for me, like I'm thinking, what's it like for young people without the experience?
I know. I mean, you know too. Like we see the stories out there. People regularly apply to 50 to 100 places, which that can't be true. You can't be really applying to 50 to 100 places.
It'd be easy to do on LinkedIn.
Yeah, because you press the one button, it sends the thing. And so, but people have been writing things on social media about like, yeah, I applied for 75 and I got 2 callbacks and 1 interview, and the interview went bad. And that's how bad of a hellscape it is out there. Because they
Well, and on
just,
top of that, I have a buddy who's a corporate recruiter, and he said the big problem is AI. He said right
oh
now
yeah, that's
the
great.
resumes, when you apply, it doesn't go in front of a person. It's
No.
AI, and they're looking for someone between the ages of 28 and 39 or whatever.
Yeah,
And
AI just scans for the thing they're looking for.
the
Age, they've
AI
got a
will
couple
see that you are
keywords.
old and they don't want you. And
Mm.
again, I would just rather tell me the fucking truth. Just fucking tell me the truth. We're looking for someone. I mean, they're never going to say this, but
They're never going to say that because they can't, but I know what you're saying, and
yeah.
it is right. I wish they would write in the ad, hey, we're looking for a coder. We want them to be between 25 and 30 years old. That's what we're looking for. And that would save everyone a lot of hassle, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Just say, look, if you've been in the business 25 years, we're not interested in you. We're looking.
So Dan, you should do the gig. I like the gig thing, and I'm the Dan's sponsor. And so when Dan says, "Hey, man, I found myself late at night scrolling through jobs like a drug addict," right? And
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Stop looking for fucking jobs. And but I will tell Dan that like the gig thing is not. I love the gig economy. I do gigs. Gigs are great because it's like this one sort of opportunity that comes along, and it's like you do it and you get a little chunk of cash, and then it's done. There's zero stress. Like it's so great.
That's what I'm looking at now. Is just trying to string together enough gigs just to make a few extra bucks.
You don't fuck with Craigslist, do you?
No.
So Craigslist has a section that says jobs, and then it has gigs. Craigslist has a whole section that says gigs. And it's fucking great because then there's subcategories that say computer, creative, blah, blah, blah. So I go to computer, no, I go to gigs, then I go to creative. And it'll say like, we need someone to do a set design for a school play. We'll pay you $300. You got to paint a couple like pieces of plywood. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking great. And it's like super easy. And I just go do it and I make a couple $100 and I'm done. I've done this before. This is fantastic. So, but I also think you should definitely focus on things you're passionate about, which is the pigs and other sort of things like that. But I'm sad to hear of your stories about looking for work. I know that it's a nightmare out there. But as your sponsor, I still am very angry with you, and you really need to get off the drug.
No, I've been good. The only thing I've been looking at is the gig stuff.
Okay, good. Your sponsor is happy with you. Good job, Dan.
Yeah. No, I'm at this point. I really kind of think at this point, if I'm going to go back to full-time work, I might as well just go back to what I was doing. Because
full-time work is going to drive you nuts, bro.
Anything else I find, like if I apply and go through the bullshit, is going to be equally annoying in its own way. You and I
just
both know
the thinking of processing to start doing that is going to be stress. You're going to be thinking, I have to do this. Oh, I got to refill out this and blah, blah, blah. And then you got to go to the place and I'm going to find parking every fucking step along the way.
No. I'm mostly where I'm at is if I decide I really want the income again, I'll go back. I'll take the gig I had. I can do the bare minimum. Show up, code, do my stuff, get it done.
I don't think you can't take that gig you had before with that guy that you're working with. You can't do it. Yeah. That's a hard no.
At this point is probably the number one option. And then what I would do is just stay in it for a while and see if something else comes up. But unfortunately,
very disappointed. You don't need to do this and your life matters more. You just let that stew around in your head for a little bit. And let's talk about something else.
Yeah, so what else we got? Oh, you sent me a bunch of weird videos.
All right, let me set this up. Okay, so there are these gross like little food videos where, I mean, look, it's cultural. Things go on with food in different parts of the world that maybe as Americans we think is gross. And I got to set this up by first saying, look, no disrespect to the different communities. But it is true. There's some pretty funny, gross videos out there that you watch of like, there's a guy in India who makes food and he's sitting on the ground and there's like rice all over the place. And there's another one where so basically I found these 3 videos of really gross situations where a guy is preparing food in less than sanitary conditions and stuff that we as Americans would look at and go like, oh, there's no way I would eat that, right? There's no way I would eat that. And then, so the game I'm going to play with Dan, I'm going to show him 3 kind of disgusting food prep situations. And then the name of this game is going to be called What's It Going to Take? Right? What's it going to take? So with each one of these things, you're going to watch the video and see what this food is, how it's prepared. And then we will talk about the parameters of said situation. What's the least amount of money it would take for you to eat that meal, right? That's what it's going to be.
So I've got the McDonald's one, I got the guy with the feet, and I've got the unhygienic.
All right, there's 3 of them. And each video is no more than 3 minutes long. You don't need to watch the whole thing. Click on the first one, the guy with the feet, and let me just sort of set it up before you play it. Let me set it up before you play it. So you're going to watch a short video of a guy in India. He's sitting on the floor, and he's got he's got what you don't see. He's got a knife that he's holding onto with his big toe. He's got a knife sort of in there, and he's cutting meat with the knife that's held by his big toe, which is also right above like a surface. And there's flies everywhere. There's dirt everywhere.
Ugh.
As he cuts the raw meat, it brushes up against his dirty feet. Now, people thought this video it got popular because people thought he was cutting meat with his toenail. And that's why it got really gross. He's not cutting meat with his toenail. There's a knife that he's holding, but it's extremely gross because it's very unsanitary, and he's cutting this food, and the raw meat brushes up against his feet as he cuts it. So watch a little bit of this. A lot of people know what I'm talking about. Give me your live reaction to what's going on. Talk me through it.
Okay, so he's picking the fat off the...
He's trimming the meat.
Oh, he's got a knife between his toes?
Yeah, he's got a knife. He's holding it between his toes. You'll see it.
Oh my God.
But how gross is that?
Extremely.
And it's touching his feet as he goes to the end of the knife. People would think it's his toenail, but it is a knife, but it is very bad, right? Like, look at this. Walk me through it, Dan. What do you think? Tell me what's going on.
I'm horrified.
Right. So he's cutting the raw meat. He's not cooking it, but he's cutting it. He's putting some, he's trimming it. And then, then what they do is they cook it in a wok and they serve it to you. They sort of stir fry it with some other vegetables and rice, and they serve it to you. But here's the ramifications of this game. So in all 3 instances, you're watching. So you're there, you're in the foreign country, you're immersed in the culture. You watch this guy prepare this food. Then you watch him take said meat. Look at him. He's just chopping it up. There's no washing of the hands, right?
No.
And so then he throws that in a wok and he cooks it and he serves you a small bowl of it. What's it going to take for you to eat it? Now here's the deal. I'm looking for a dollar amount, and I'm looking for like the lowest amount of money you would take. And by the way, so you're there. Here's the ramifications. You're there in the country. You don't get served it like in a nice sterile fucking American. No, you're there in the country. You watch that. You see it happen. You see him cook it. He serves it to you. It's not a big heaping plate. It's a smaller portion. Yeah. But you got to eat it. You saw what just happened. You got to eat it. I'm looking for the lowest amount of money. It's cash in a bag.
It's been cooked.
Has been cooked in a wok. Yeah, thoroughly cooked in a wok, but it has been cooked. And there's rice. But when he does the rice and the vegetables, he's scooping out the rice with his hands. Everything's sort of prepared that way. But the meat specifically is prepared with the toe knife. And I'm looking for
it's gross, but like the fact that it's cooked makes me feel better about it.
This is good. And this is what I want to talk through. And I'm looking for Dan. Okay, so here's the thing. What's it going to take? It's going to take money in a bag that's tax-free. Someone hands you the lowest amount of money that you'll do for this, right? You haggle it down. What's it going to take? And someone hands you cash in a bag, tax-free. Government, Uncle Sam doesn't know about it. I'm looking for a figure. What do you got? Lowest figure you'll take to do it.
I mean, honestly,
I'm dying to hear this number from you.
I don't think it's going to be that high because, like, it's gross. Don't get me wrong, it's gross. But look, I lived in a fraternity for fucking 3 years, so I'm used to gross.
This is interesting, yeah.
And I mean, it's gross, but assuming it's cooked.
It's cooked. It's in a wok. I mean, it's not fully submerged in grease. It's not like deep fried, fully submerged. It is cooked in grease in a wok.
I'd probably do it for $1,000.
Oh, wow. I would not have guessed that in a million years. Holy shit. You're in this foreign country. You see that. You're looking around. The sights and the smells. There's $1,000 bucks.
They're not going to make me eat it.
Yes, you are. You're going to eat it for $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, if you give me $1,000 in cash, sure.
Oh my God! Wow.
For some reason,
Okay.
like as gross as that is, I know
It's
that it's been
cooked.
cooked, so like
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it, but whatever.
Okay. That's wild. And I'll give you my number. I thought your number was going to be way higher because of Dan's skeeving, but what you talk
Yeah.
about in the fraternity makes a lot of sense. I mean, my number is going to be pretty much the same thing too. I'll do it for $1,000. I'm exactly with you. I'll do it for that. You know what? I'll do it for 750. I'll do it for
So
750
what's the
bucks.
next video? The McDonald's or the
Okay,
unhygienic?
go to the McDonald's next.
All right.
No, you know what? No. No. Go to the other guy. Yeah, this guy. Now wait, before you click it, hold on.
Okay.
Okay. So this is popular. There's a store in India where you go to, it's street food, and this guy got popular off TikTok because it's so gross. He sits Indian style in front of like this bowl of rice and slop, and he normally has his feet out. In this particular video, he's got a little towel over it. And there's a big long line of people for this. And he scoops up some slop and he puts it on a leaf, and some guy hands him a roll, and it's like kind of fast food in India in this slum.
Right.
And the conditions are bad. It starts off with they're scraping off the excess food and putting it back in the bowl. The whole thing with this video is when they serve the food, they're very messy with it, and food just gets everywhere. And go ahead and watch the video. Talk me through your thoughts.
So he's scraping shit off the table.
Right.
Into like a tray.
Right.
Okay.
And it goes back in the pot.
It goes back in the pot.
Yeah, it goes back in the pot. And here's the guy, the main dude. This guy's like a celebrity now because of TikTok. That purple towel is covering his bare foot, which in many videos, look, that's a leaf. He grabs rice with his bare hand. A couple dudes in the back throw a roll in it, and there you go. And that's your food. He does it again. What do you want? They hand him money. And look how filthy the walls are, and like there's rice all over his. See the rice all over the floor in his leg.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay. He grabs a leaf. This one's in a container, but pay no attention to. But see, when he scoops it out, he does it so in a way where like half of it winds up on the floor. Here we go.
Oh my God.
It's a leaf. I like the rice with the bare hand. You just grab, and the guy gives him a roll, and there you go.
Weirdly, this grosses me out less than the other one.
So okay, what is it going to take for you? And now, granted, you saw how he took the leftover slop that hit the table, and he puts it back in the pot.
Yeah.
All right, and so and then he's washing it off with hot water. It just winds up in the street. There's flies everywhere. What's it going to take for you to eat one of these things? It's like it's in the leaf. He puts the rice on the hand, he hands you the roll, and off you go. What's it going to take? What are you eating that for?
I'd say it's the same, $1,000.
Wow, I'm amazed. I'm blown away.
Yeah.
Wow. This one I'm going a little, I'm going to need 2K for this because this is just really, like the sights and sounds around it is really gross.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to picture, that's true.
So you got to stand there in line. Look at this line. There's a big line. You're in the streets of India. There's dogs running around with 3 legs. This is like a whole situation. And look at the walls are filthy. There's 2 dudes in the back. What are they doing? I don't know. He grabs the rice with his hand. It's disgusting. And you don't see the videos where the foot is out. There's like a foot covered by that purple towel, and sometimes it's out and there's rice on the foot, and he touches his foot, and it's like a whole thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, look at
$1,000, $2,000.
Yeah, it's gross. It's gross.
Right.
But it's like, I could get over.
I'm with you, $1,000. Now let's go to the big one. The big one is at the end. It's the McDonald's. Now let me tee this one up before you watch it. I got to explain this one real quick before you watch it. There's a family in the Philippines. This is where we go to the Philippines. There's a slum in the Philippines that's in a very poor section. And this woman has carved out a little business for herself that her and her family do. And what they do is they have an arrangement with McDonald's where they go to a local McDonald's and they're allowed to dig through the McDonald's trash. Okay? So they dig through the McDonald's, and it's a kind of food. It's called pakpak, I think it is. And this is a very successful business. So they go through the McDonald's trash. They're allowed to take the trash. They got her family to go through the trash, and they go through and they take the meat out, which is chicken bones, burger patties, and chicken nuggets. So they take out this food, and then it's like from the trash. There, people have bitten it, and then they throw it in the trash. You know what I mean? This is used food. Half-eaten food. Like you'll see a hamburger that's been bitten in half. She then takes it, They remove the meat they remove all the meat, the chicken, whatever. They give it a light rinse in this tepid, disgusting water, and then they stir fry it, right? And they serve it back to you. So it's like refried old food. Go ahead and watch the video.
Yeah, I got to see how this works.
Yeah. Talk me through it. And turn up the sound. You'll like this.
Oh, man. Food from leftovers that people eat.
The McDonald's has chicken on a bone, has fried chicken. But look at this. This is trash. Right? So there's the trash bags. They bring them home. Full trash bags. Look at the burger. Okay, so then there's this, right? Here comes the money shot. We collect it and we sort it out. Dan, so hold on, keep watching. Keep watching. Look at this part. There's the water. They rinse it out. And then they stir fry it. So... okay, how much to eat a serving of the puck? See, this is bad though, right? This is real.
Keep watching. This is way bad.
Keep watching this.
Even just going through the trash is bad. Forget eating it.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel bad for these people. This is in the slums of the Philippines, a really bad area. And this lady is a success story because she created this own like business. And by the way, this is a popular place to go to in this slum. Like people know about her and it's considered like, oh, it's McDonald's. Like, this is great. It's used McDonald's. But like, look at this, where they have to live. And she sorts through the trash. Here's another scene of her sorting through the trash. Big bags of McDonald's. And they got to go through and find the meat. They got to find the half-eaten patties and stuff. Look at this. And okay, what's it going to take for you to eat some of this? I got to know. And I know. Look, Dan, everyone's got a number. I don't care if it's $1 billion, but look at this. She's going through. There's trash. She's like, oh, look, there's a piece of chicken in here. Look at that. A bone. I'll take that chicken off that bone.
Wait. So that's they put all this together in like a slurry?
So no, so she puts the chicken with chicken, right? There's the bucket with chicken and chicken. And then there's burgers and burgers. And then there's chicken nuggets and chicken nuggets. There's 3 varieties, right?
Right.
So that's the chicken bucket. And then look at the water. Dan, look at this water. She's rinsing it off.
I can't. I'm gonna vomit.
Okay. So what's it gonna take? So look at this. That's the stir fry of the old burgers. All right. What's it take for you to eat that?
I don't think.
Dan, everyone's got a number. I don't care if it's. You could be Elon Rich and have $500 billion. There's a number. It's a small portion. It's not a huge trough. You know. You got to eat it. What's it going to take? Now you want $1,000 from the toe knife guy.
Yeah, that is gross. But at least he's not.
But Dan, look, all 3 are prepared in the same way. They're fried in oil in a wok.
No. This last one, they are pulling food from the garbage with their
but it's
hands.
being fried. What's this? The logic? I don't get it. If the frying takes care of all the germs and the grossness, give me the number.
No, it does take care of the germs and the grosses because it's like a slurry of fucking gross shit.
Yeah, but the hot oil cooks off everything.
I don't care.
Give me a number then.
How about 500 grand? I don't think I would eat it.
This one's rough. I was smart to put this one at the end, right? This one's really rough.
This is really rough.
Yeah,
just
rough.
Watching them go through the trash.
I know.
Like, Bruce, no joke. It would probably be the same. Like, Dan, what would it take for me to go through the trash and separate the beef from the chicken? I would almost rather eat the finished product.
Wow, that's interesting. So just like say you had to work for 5 minutes for this woman, where it's your job to go through a bag of trash and just touch that food.
No, there's no amount of money.
That's interesting. All right, the amount of money I'm taking to eat some of the puck is going to be. So part of this video is a white tourist who goes there, and he won't even do it. I'm going to need. I'll do it for 10K. I'll eat some
So
of this
let's
for
say,
10K.
what about if they want to hire you to help go through the trash? Would that be more or less that you would
Oh,
take?
way less. I'll go through the trash, do it. If I can wear, Dan, if I can wear okay, I'm going to need to wear the blue nitrile gloves though. None of
Well,
these
yeah,
people
yeah,
are,
that's true.
if I can do it and wear the blue nitrile gloves, I'll do it in this family for a day and they can pay me $1,000. I'll do it.
I don't think there's any amount of money with or without gloves that could get me to do that job.
Really? So doing the job is worse than eating the food?
Oddly, yes. Yeah.
Wow, that's a very
Because when
interesting.
they hand you the little bowl, you can sort of, I don't know, lick in your
Yeah,
head.
but no, you've seen the way it's prepared, and then they serve it to you right away, and you got to eat it. That's the thing. Same thing with all the other two ones. You've seen how it's prepared, then they fry it, and here you go.
Yeah,
500K, huh? That's a lot. That's life changing. That's good.
Yeah, I just don't think. Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Well, then that's that segment. I thought it would be better. I thought you'd be more entertained with that segment.
I mean, I'm entertained, but I'm ready to vomit. I mean, that's next level gross.
Yeah, pretty gross. Anyway,
I'm sitting next to my friend. We've had a change. That's a
Who?
terrarium. There's a
What am I looking
terrarium
at?
now. There's a terrarium on my desk. You can sort of tell. It's a terrarium.
Yeah, what's in there? Who's living in there?
There's a crested gecko. You can't see him. He's not out right now.
Oh, a gecko.
So when I went into the hospital, she boarded all the reptiles because she really couldn't care for them while dealing with me. And we've been taking them back. So the frogs are in the barn because they do better with different temperature variations.
Mm-hmm.
But the gecko doesn't do well in cold or heat, so he has to be more climate controlled. So the gecko's in. I'm sharing my desk with him.
Oh, that's nice.
My desk is the kitchen table in the RV.
Yeah.
So I'm sharing with him now. And his name is Stinky Pete.
Does he stink?
No, I don't know why she named him Stinky Pete. He doesn't stink. No, he's a funny little guy. I wish I could find him.
Oh, I love. You know what? We have a Sonoran desert tortoise. Yeah. And he has been sleeping. Dan, he goes down to his hole. He's been sleeping for 4 months solid.
Awesome.
And he's going to come out of his hole. He comes out of his hole in March usually. And it's the most amazing thing because he's got this nice little scenario set up in the backyard. And one day, like I'll say, like Ro will be like, or I'll say, and his name is Emmett. We'll be like, oh my God, Emmett's awake. And it's like this, it's like Jesus coming out of the cave in 3 days, but it's been 5 months. And he comes out and he's still alive because we're always convinced. I'm like, is he okay? And then he's probably dead. But then he shows up, and he's about the size of a football. He comes out, he's fucking huge. And I never thought I would be a reptile person. I always sort of skeeved out on like, when you're in art school, there's a guy who has snakes.
Depends on the reptile. Yeah. See, snake people are gross. I mean,
snake people. I'm so glad you said that. It's weird that they're snake people. Like, because when you're in art school, there's a guy.
I love all animals. I got nothing against snakes.
I know, but it is weird.
Snakes as pets tend to be a little gross.
So snakes.
We have gopher tortoises on the property. There's tons of burrows all over.
And they're wild.
Wild, yeah.
Are
I've only seen one out.
Are they cute?
Yeah.
They're
an endangered species, I think.
So you got to be hands off.
Or they're threatened. Let me see.
So then you don't want your redneck neighbors taking pot shots with a 22 at these things. I don't know.
Maybe they're not. I don't think rednecks would shoot tortoises.
No, not tortoises, but the moles or whatever they are.
They're threatened by predation and habitat destruction. I don't know if they're...
What kind of animal we're talking about? The gopher?
Gopher tortoise.
Oh, it's a tortoise. Okay.
Yeah, hold on.
It's gonna look a lot like a box turtle, I'm sure. It's a dry land.
Sort of, yeah. I mean,
oh, that's cute. Yeah, that's what Emmett looks like. I mean, it kind of looks like that. They're fun.
Yeah, no, they're great.
I love them.
We've only seen one like out, but we see the burrows everywhere. I mean,
yeah.
So,
well, good for you.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. I got the recumbent bike story and the gross food story, which I thought would be more entertaining. I thought you'd be howling at how gross that was. I don't know.
I mean, it's disturbing just because the recumbent bike doesn't seem like you. But
it really doesn't. No, but that's the whole. I've been going through a lot lately. It's this whole thing where it's like mentally like, am I this young dude that I think I am in my head, or Am I this guy that's approaching 60? And there are things that are sort of, that transition is going on right now in real time. And recumbent bike couldn't be more of a fucking bookmark, right? Like that is a line, and that is a Rubicon that has been crossed. The fucking recumbent bike. We're doing this now. And I was like, fuck. But there you go. I mean, I want to be healthy. I mean, look, you got to be healthy in your own skin. You got to be comfortable in your own skin. You got to know what your lot in life is, and that's fine. And I would rather ride a recumbent bike than have some fucked up notion about you can't be on a bike unless it's a regular bike. You know, what's going on here?
This while we're talking about you on a recumbent bike, this is
the nests were in the
hold on.
Quill.
He's showing a clip from Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
This is where he meets like the boomer CEO.
Premium old man jokes. Essentially, I'm going to beat him to death with his own titanium hips. Not just for me, for Richard.
You'll love this.
Okay, so some guy's going to go meet the old boss.
Ehrlich Bachman. He's
Jack
meeting
Barker,
the new boss, who's a boomer.
Action Jack. We meet at last. Ehrlich Bachman.
Mr. Bach, pleasure to finally meet you. I'm a big fan.
Oh, really? Of what? Metamucil? Polio? The photograph? A nice piece of fish? Segregated water fountains? Senior citizen discounts at Perkins Family Restaurant?
He's giving him the business.
Erectile dysfunction because of corroded penile artery? Deviled eggs as an entree? Liking Ike?
Liking.
yeah.
Hold on. You know what's terrible about that? A couple of things that he rattled off, I'm a big fan of. Like I wasn't
a nice piece of fish.
A nice piece of fish right off the bat. Like, did you find yourself thinking, I really do?
No, I love that.
Oh, the minute he
Polio,
said, bro,
Polio,
liking Ike, like
liking
that was funny.
Ike.
That's such an old reference. Fucking me. No, when he said a nice piece of fish, I'm like, dude, I do love a nice piece of fish. And when he said
that show was so good,
he said deviled eggs. I'm like, oh,
as an entree. I
have a meal here that I have. Ro just gives me the business. It's absolutely out of hand. Listen to this plate of food. It's hard-boiled eggs that I cut in half, right? Chilled hard-boiled eggs are on a plate. Also on that plate, Dan, is some fucking crackers, right? Just fucking saltine crackers. Also on the plate is kipper snacks, which is like canned herring. There you go. Do you know what canned herring is? It's like sardines, right?
I do. It's disgusting. Yeah.
It's disgusting. So on the plate, the deviled eggs.
Wait a minute, is it pickled?
No, they're just canned herrings.
Oh,
they're just like greasy, like they're packed in olive oil, right? And they're room temperature. They're not cooked, whatever. And they're whole fish. You just down the whole thing. The eggs, the fish, the crackers, the deviled egg, and then there's a dollop of horseradish sauce and a dollop of fucking mayo and a dollop of spicy mustard. And so I'm eating, and then a pickle. You got to have a fucking pickle on top of the whole thing. And it's the oldest fucking meal. And Ro looks at this. She's like, are you eating kipper snacks, eggs, and fucking crackers on a plate with horseradish sauce? I'm like, yeah, it's delicious. He's like, oh my God. That's an old person meal. It's the oldest person meal I have. Dan, what is the old person meal that you secretly love? I know there's one. Do you like the halibut? I know you love the halibut.
I haven't had halibut in a while. Old person meal.
Yeah, what's the thing that you go and you order it and you're cognizant of the fact that like this is a fucking old person meal and
I guess you could say chopped liver sandwich.
Oh,
maybe?
That's terrible. Yeah, you're right. That's disgusting.
That's a Jewish old person.
And you go out, you'll eat a chopped liver sandwich?
Oh, I love chopped liver.
Oh my God, it's disgusting. Oh my God.
Have you had it?
I'm sure it's a lot like liverwurst. Is it liverwurst?
No, it's different.
I like liverwurst. I'm sure I would like it, if I'm honest. It's probably like a bologna-like product.
The trick with the chopped liver on a sandwich, it's good by itself, but it's even better when you do a schmear of it with turkey. You do a schmear.
What about, is there heavy onion on that thing? I'm going to need heavy onion.
You can do heavy onion, but that's dangerous to your breath.
Well, I don't care. Hey, let me ask you this. Do you fuck with like a lot of onion and like raw onion? Because I used to like onion. I used to like onion on like a cheeseburger or whatever, like a caramelized onion on a cheeseburger. Yeah. But like Roa's got me into this thing where like when she gets a cheeseburger, she has them put a massive thick slice of just raw onion on it, like raw onion. And I always thought that was gross. But then lately, I've been starting to eat raw onion with these like Mexican guys that I hang out with, and they put lots of fucking raw onion on their tacos and stuff. And I'm like, it is good. So you don't fuck with the raw onion?
I mean, it depends on the scenario. On a burger, I could do it. God, I haven't had a burger in forever. I'm on a kind of a restricted diet right now.
Yeah. What kind of food are you eating normally right now? Like healthy?
Well, we're cooking almost every night, man. That's the difference. We used to
no more going out to these constant restaurants.
We will for lunch. I have a sandwich salad spot I like that I'll go 3 days a week. I will allow myself.
And what's your order at the sandwich place? Is it a nice turkey on rye?
No. They have a salad I like. I get the salad they have house-made honey Dijon, and I get it with a scoop of either tuna or egg salad.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Are there croutons involved? Is there a bread product?
There's croutons. Yeah. They got good sandwiches too, but I've been doing more of the salads lately.
Look at you. I bet you're pooping like a champ.
Yeah, it's been the roughage. Yeah. No, this place is really good. I go there 3 days a week, and then we allow ourselves like 1 or 2 nights a week eating out for dinner. Tops.
And what's a typical nighttime dinner meal that you'll have?
Unfortunately, around here, there's not many options because I live in a small town. So there's really only a few places to go. There's an Italian place here, and I like their seafood stuff. They have like mussels and clams, and you can get like linguine with mussels,
a nice plate of fish.
Nice piece of fish.
Nice piece of fish.
But I'm sort of recalibrating my head to like.
No, that's good. This is the new normal, they call it, right? You got to have the new normal, the new baseline.
I don't want to fucking collapse in the yard again,
dude. I don't want you. You're my friend. I don't want you to fucking collapse in the yard. It's so scary. No. I mean, I can only imagine what Carol.
My recheck's coming up, man. It's a week from Thursday.
Yeah, but for the Christ's sake, don't go back to that fucking job.
See, here's the thing. I do need income, right? So.
Do you though? Or do you need to scale back on some of your purchases?
Probably both.
Mm-hmm.
But
thought so.
I've sort of said to myself, even if I do the low-hanging fruit, the easy way out, going back to that, it would be a very different mindset this time around. It would be bare minimum, do the work, and then I would still keep an eye out for something I would like that I would do instead.
But I mean, it is scary to do your own thing, but that would be a magical thing if you like. I've experienced that, like, and it's scary. Like, what am I going to do for money? And then all of a sudden, you're doing your own thing, and it's just working out. And I couldn't be more relaxed.
I have an idea for a thing.
Tell me your idea. I love your ideas.
So there's quite a few food trucks around here.
Right, the food truck idea I like.
What they don't have up here and where I live is like a place where they can all go. So I was going.
Yeah, they have that here. Like it's a chunk of land, and they have this thing where all the food trucks go, and they have a night, and they set up tables, and it's a great thing.
What I would do is buy a little piece of land.
Oh, this is a great idea.
I would build a pole barn.
Dude, great idea.
Tables and chairs. We would need electrical for the food trucks. And basically, I would charge rent to the food trucks. I would say, okay.
You get some you go through the red tape and the permits, but this is a great fucking idea because all it needs is the capital to bankroll it and start it and to throw up some, light structures and things like this.
Well, and the thing is, I'm not the one running the food truck, which makes it a lot less stressful.
You're just the landlord essentially.
That's it. So they come in, they pay me $100 for a night or whatever it is, and
so great. If you got the right chunk of land that was by some sort of like reason for people to go, like if it's by any place where people would gather,
it has to be good location. That is my idea because I think that I like this idea because even if it failed, I still have a piece of land.
By the way, they're wildly popular out here. There's one right down the street, and they advertise for it. It's called Food Truck Fridays, right? And it's Food Truck Fridays, and all the food trucks go there, and you can get a lobster roll, you can get a fucking crab cake, you can get everything. And on Food Truck Fridays, all the altar cockers go down there. They have very often, it's just like they set up like an open-ended barn, like you were talking about. They got picnic tables, they got trash and electric hookups for all these places, and that's it. Rarely there'll be like a guy on a banjo maybe once in a while. And it becomes like a thing for people to do on a summer night. It's fantastic.
Now, in Gainesville, which is 15 miles south, they do have a place like this. that's very popular where food trucks hang out and people go and they sit and they chill out. So I'm thinking I could
It's
have
a great idea.
I could have a pole barn. I could sell drinks, beverages, or whatever, just to keep it simple.
Yep.
But I like this idea because I own an asset, land. I would have an asset.
The whole thing falls through. You got the land.
Yeah.
With no like massive structure on it. Like it'll be a pole barn. No big deal.
Pole barn. That's it.
You know, this is a great idea. And then you just charge the food trucks. The only thing you need to do is create a reason to go there. So you have this thing called Food Truck Friday. You put out some ads. You make it like this fun thing to go to. You give people something to do on a date night, or old people or whatever. They're going to do it. Like if there's like, you know, a little musical entertainment or just like a fun thing, you know, it's just, I love this idea. You should do it.
Yeah. So I've been keeping an eye out for land. Again, it's a small town. There's not that much for sale. So I've been keeping an eye out, but that's something I would definitely do.
Love it. So Dan, okay, it's been a pretty good podcast, number 51.
51.
Success.
51.
I have a lot to do today.
Yeah, you said you have somewhere to be at noon your time.
Well, I need to leave the house like now, but I have Banditos practice, soccer season. I've got 2 drumming things back to back. So I've got to go to a drumming practice with the Banditos, number 1. We're going into a deep Mexican neighborhood. We're going to make a lot of noise with drums. And I told these guys, I'm like, does it make sense to have band practice in this residential neighborhood? This is the most racket you've ever heard. There's going to be 5 of us with these drums, one louder than the next. We're going to be in a residential neighborhood banging away. And the guy goes, no, there's nothing but me and other Mexicans around here. We make a ton of noise. No one gives a shit. Everyone will be drunk anyway. I'm like, oh, that's great. So I'm expecting to be fed well as well, because there's going to be some good carne asada with raw onion. I know it. It's going to be great. Then from there, I go right to the Grateful Dead thing where I play. And I'll get some money for that too, and that'll be a good deal.
I like that.
Yeah.
Not much here, man. I'm just sort of biding my time until that big recheck on the 27th. It's a shame you don't live close. I would have you come, you know, keep Kara company while she waits for me to come out of the.
I'll hold her hand and tell her everything's going to be okay. And
well, this one's easy. It's only 20 minutes. They take me in. It's not general anesthesia. It's twilight. That's where they just sort of knock you out a little.
That's a good one. I know what twilight is. That's where you're like, hey, what's up?
And then they go in through my groin all the way up. All the way
want you got to sit real still though for that, right?
Well, I'll be out, but they go in through my groin and they get a really good look at the aneurysm and the artery. And then he'll be able to say to me, okay, here's where we are. You're this percentage healed. You know, you have this much to go, you know.
The stent is permanent. Like that doesn't come out.
Yeah, the stent is permanent. So what you're looking for
like a straw then. Yeah.
You're looking for the endothelium to grow around the stent. And it sort of becomes part of your artery. And then once that happens, which should be done by June, you're completely protected. At that point, I basically can't have a recurrence of this, at least not there. So
when they do the big scan, can they look at other areas of the brain and say, hey,
yes, when they, because I had like 3 of these when I was in the hospital, and they said I have no other aneurysms. This was the only one.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, well, at least in my brain. I could have one in my heart for all I know.
Oh, but Jesus Christ, it's always something. That's why you got to live now, Dan.
Yeah,
you got to live now.
We'll see what happens, man. So I'm just biding my time.
Your sponsor is not thrilled with a lot that I'm hearing. It sounds like it sounds a lot like a relapse. A lot like a relapse.
I mean, you could call it that. If we're going to compare it to addiction, I would say like before I was a heroin addict, and I'm going back and I'm going to be a social drinker now.
Or you're California sober. You're doing gummies. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, well,
I mean, my mindset and my general attitude about life and work has completely changed from what it was.
That's good. That's good.
From what it was before. So,
but you still have the old social constructs of your value and your worth as a man and a partner is completely dovetailed with your ability to earn. And that is something that is fucked up.
I mean, I wouldn't say, maybe, but I think most of it is, I'm just being practical. I can't live the rest of my life with no income, right?
You could. With the investments you have and your situation and your money makes money. And if you didn't, and if you cut back on the spending a little bit, shit.
Maybe.
You could.
I don't want to, though. I like having some income, but we'll see, man.
He likes a nice plate of fish. He likes to go out and get
I
a
like a nice piece of fish, and then we'll
I
see.
love
Like
it.
I said, this gig that I didn't love is the low hanging fruit because I don't have to deal with the. Oh, I'm sorry, your skills and your experience doesn't align with what we're
I
looking
know, but
for.
try the gig. Look for gigs. Like I'm sure
I
there's
am.
like, hey,
Oh,
we
I
need
am.
you to build a website. We need you to do this, and you do it.
I
You're
am.
in, you're out. You're fucking
I'm
great.
totally looking for gigs, but we'll see. I'm not making any decisions until after my angiogram.
Oh,
So
good.
that's February 27th. I believe
We
that's
will
a
consult
Thursday.
each other then.
Yeah, I will talk to you shortly thereafter.
Okay, good.
But I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, man. I mean,
I'll
just gotta
try to
wait
get
and
some.
see.
I'll try to get some footage of me on the recumbent bike. You'll love that.
Oh my God. Is it
By the way,
like,
I'm going to trick out the recumbent bike. I got plans for it. I'm going to put the big flags on the top so you can see me. Big bright flags. I'm going to get Dan. I'm going to make like a little, like a carrot, like a fucking roof to give me shade, like a little piece of cloth like that. And there's going to be like a drink holder,
yeah.
and like it's going to be great. And I'm just going to whatever. All right,
Oh,
buddy. I gotta go.
is that the sweatshirt I sent you?
Dude, I love this sweatshirt.
Isn't that nice?
I wear this sweatshirt. There's stains on it because I just wear it round the clock. I love it so much.
Well, yeah, that's a Carhartt. I mean, those are nice,
I love it so much. The next thing I'm looking for is and you're gonna laugh. I want like a tracksuit, but I want like an Adidas tracksuit with the lines on it, like the guys in The Sopranos wear, like a matching tracksuit, and it has a zipper and a hood. So it kind of looks like a Russian gangster, but it also looks like an old white guy. Like I like that. So that's the next thing I'm looking for. But again, I don't have the money to buy that. I would not go to the store and buy it for $100. I don't have it. But if I find one on Facebook Marketplace for $35, I might go, talk them down to 20, pull the trigger, throw it in a bucket of fucking OxyClean, and we'll be good to go. All right?
I'm glad you like the sweatshirt, man. I got one of those too. I thought it's in storage.
Oh, I love it so much.
Mine's in storage.
Not cool with that, bro. I am not cool with that, dude.
Yeah, we're down to 2 properties. One of them we're giving away in like 3 weeks, and the last one we're going to sit on.
Yeah, dude, it's got the hood. I'll tell you what I like about this hood. It's big.
Yeah.
I don't like the hoods that are, I like the big hood.
You like the big hood.
So when I go into a store and I don't want to deal with people, I really fucking I don't want to see the person next to me. I'm just kind of like this. All right. Listen, I'll let you go. I got to go do a bunch of shit today. A bunch of nonsense.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Episode 51 is in the can. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.